Today, this video is a little different than what I normally do, but I was so compelled to talk about this topic. I talked about it with my friends. I watched a few videos of other people's perspectives, and I just want to share my perspective. If you have never heard of pretty privilege, or you have no information as to what in the world I'm talking about, there are YouTube videos that go into details to explain, and I will give my version of what I feel pretty privilege is, and then I'm going to tell you guys why I'm even doing this video, because someone else did a video and they basically just don't obviously feel like they have pretty privilege, and they pretty much to just sum it up, I'm paraphrasing a lot here, but to sum it up, they just don't feel like they have any hope when it comes to the dating world, and they're kind of like feel like they're overlooked by men or just lack attention, and they know that they're like not that pretty friend, So I thought this would be just an interesting topic, just because all about my channel is just like self-love and loving yourself and living a more natural lifestyle. And I feel like this all kind of like intertwines into it, just because even the prettiest of pretty people have their own insecurities. Even though I know people that feel like they're not as beautiful, they look up to beautiful people and think that they don't have, their own issues. Like even people that, I maybe am envious of certain things. Like everybody has their own problems and issues. So I just want to give my opinion, shed my light on that. So let's get to it. I'm also sipping on some wine today. This is like my wind down talk with you guys, because I haven't had one of these in a while. It's been a long time since I've had a chit chat like this. Just a little rosé. So, pretty privilege in my opinion. One, I want to say that I know I haven't. I'm not going to be oblivious to it. I've watched a few videos and a few women that believe that they are beautiful and pretty or whatever. They don't think this exists, and it definitely exists. It's a real thing. It really, really is. And it's just basically people that are deemed as beautiful, in society's eyes or whatever. They have privileges that maybe people that are not deemed as beautiful, or that are more so you would consider them to be ugly, not attractive, they don't have those same privileges. Similar to how there is white privilege, and some white people don't believe that they have privilege over black people, but they do. It does exist. Pretty privilege is a real thing, and it does in fact exist. And for anybody that knows that they are beautiful and they don't acknowledge that, you're wrong, and you need to check yourself. I have known my entire life, and I've always felt like I was pretty. I've never had a point in my life, so I can't relate to a lot of women that just don't feel beautiful. There are days, obviously, I feel like, oh my God, I got pimples, or I got bumps on my face, or my skin is just doing a whole lot of stuff, and I feel ugly, but in general, that's just not, I don't think I'm an ugly person, obviously, right? But I do know that it exists, that people really don't see themselves as beautiful, on a day-to-day basis. They don't feel good about themselves, and that is sad. It is also harder for people that, to me personally, that are darker complexion, because they're fighting against, well, first of all, if you're black, obviously you're fighting against that, because black women have all these stigmas of all this bad stuff about us, that we're angry, we're aggressive, we're the list goes on and on. Then when you put on top of that being a dark-skinned black woman, that's a whole nother battle that you're trying to face. So for me to be naive to that is just ridiculous. I know that it in fact exists. I think it's wrong, because I know a lot, and I mean a lot, of gorgeous, drop dead, amazingly gorgeous, dark-skinned black women. It just saddens me, because I feel like maybe I just don't want her to give up hope on love and being able to find someone, because the circle and the crowd that she's currently in is not open to receive her beauty. That's a word now. they're not open to receive her beauty because she's beautiful. Everybody is beautiful. And I believe on this earth there is someone for everyone. It does not matter how you look, doesn't matter your skin tone, how heavy you are, how light you are, whether you have disabilities or not. There is someone for everyone on this planet. You just haven't found your someone yet. And I don't want her to give up on hope just because of the circle that she's in. It just so happens that they don't like, maybe possibly don't like darker skinned women, or that's not what they're attracted to. Because again, people are also allowed, you know, that's free. You're free to be attracted to who you want to be attracted to. So I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, you're saying that, but if you don't like a dark skinned woman, you don't like a dark skinned woman. I get it. It's just, and that's fine. You can feel that way, but also don't be disrespectful to a person. And I'm not saying that anybody has been disrespectful to her, but it's just like she doesn't feel acknowledged, and she thinks that has something to do with it, which it's a good possibility that it does. Like, you see in society, like the lighter the better. Like, that's what people want you to think. Like, if you're fairer skinned, then you're all right. If you're dark skinned, you have all these issues. Or while we're speaking on lighter complexion people, let me also just state that just because you're light skin or lighter complected doesn't automatically mean and deem that you're beautiful. Like, light does not mean, I know what society wants to tell you, but I know a whole lot of ugly light skinned people. And I'm just gonna call a thing a thing. I know a lot of us know. I know a lot of people like, you're not even cute, but yet you portray yourself like you are, and you're really not. Like, you're ugly on the outside and you're ugly on the inside. Like, it's just double wrong. I just feel like that whole thing that society has made lighter complected people feel as though that like they are untouchable. It's utterly ridiculous. But I know that in society, that's how darker complected women and men. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. That's how society portrays darker complected women. I think it's a little different for men. I feel like in society, lighter skinned men have always had a harder time. But that's just my opinion. Like, they get it harder. But when it comes to like darker skinned men, like that's the go-to when it comes to like, think about all the actors, like they're darker skinned. You know all of the actors. Like, do you really know? Like, you've seen that light-skinned guy, but do you know who he is? You know, when it comes to like the movies, it's not really the fair-skinned black man. But that's for another video. So we're gonna just jump back over to what I'm saying, because you know it's the wine, so I might be hopping a little bit. But back to what I was saying for the young lady, and I have to find her name. I'll put her name on the screen, and then I'll also tag the video in the description, because it was very interesting to hear her perspective, and then honestly like to read the comments, because there was a lot of women that agree with her, and that's just so sad. And I guess you guys might say, well, you think you're pretty, so I mean, you don't know I struggle, which I 1000% don't know that struggle. I don't know the struggle of feeling like you're ugly, like physically ugly. But I do know the struggle of being teased my entire life, my entire adolescence. I was very, very small and thin, and I was teased from a very small child up into high school. People, you know, made fun of me for my size. Adults even used to question whether or not if I was anorexic, and, you know, asked me, did I throw up my food? You know, so like, again, we all have our traumas and things that really try to knock us off our game, and I feel like you can get over it in some capacity, right? It'll always affect me, what I went through as a child. Like, it'll always be there, like, but it isn't ruling my life, because I get kids are cruel, I get people are cruel, and it is what it is. But I've also known too that any attention that I got was because I actually was like beautiful in their eyes. Like, always 1000% been humble, because I know that at any point in time, whatever beauty that you have, physical beauty, can be taken away from you with the blink of an eye. So I've always kept that in mind, because anything can happen to you. I can go outside, God forbid, and get hit by a car, and now I'm paralyzed, and half of my face is, you know, distorted because of that. And then now it's like, well, do you love me still? Because you love the person that I was before. You know, so it's like that question, like, you know, do you really love me for who I am, or are you only attracted to me because of my features? That also has me thinking that, you know, when it comes to finding someone, she was saying that guys would have to like get to know her and get like, I don't know, like get to know her personality, and then they would be attracted to her. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because again, you want somebody to love you for who you are. Like, I'm super goofy, I'm quirky, I say weird things, and that's my personality. I want to have personality privilege. I don't want to have pretty privilege. Like, I want you to love me, because that's one thing that isn't going to change. My beauty is going to fade over the years. The older I get, I'm not going to look the same in 50 years, you know, so I want you to love the insides of me. So I don't think it's anything wrong with someone, maybe you don't catch their eye, you know, first off, but I mean, I guess who am I to say? Because I don't know her story, and I don't know how she feels. I cannot say that I've ever felt like I wanted attention from guys and I didn't get the attention, or I wanted people to all look at me and I didn't get it. Many times, like, I don't feel like, you know, like I look the best, but to other people, they're like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. And I don't even think about it, because it's just like, okay, like, my face is inflamed right now. Like, my hair is trash. And in my mind, I'm like, I really don't look all that good. But to them, I do. So I guess for someone that never ever hears that never has anybody that comes up to them and say, oh my God, you look so gorgeous today. Oh my God, you know. And I've heard that growing up. I've heard that in my adult life. I've heard that from men, obviously, you know. So I don't know. Like, I don't know her plight, but I do know that it exists, and I want anybody that is currently feeling like that, doesn't feel like they love themselves or wish that they were someone else, I really want to pray over them and express that whatever space that you are currently in your life, I promise you can get through it. If you feel like all hope is lost, it is not. I promise you it is not. And again, if the attention that you seek, you can't find it in the circle that you're currently in, then maybe it's time to find another circle. Because from what I've heard, when you decide to date outside of your race, a lot of times other nationalities are more welcoming to black women than our own black men, and I'm just going to keep it all the way real. And then on top of that, it's only a select small few of black men that are actually up to caliber that you would even want to date anyways. So you think about how many black women are on this earth on top of all the other nationalities that want the black men. Then you come along, you already don't have a lot of self-confidence, and then you're fighting against 50 other women that are on their game, that know they look good, trying to get this man. So, I mean, it's almost like a lose-lose. So I feel like a lot of women that are feeling like that, maybe you can open and broaden your horizon to dating. And again, I'm just giving a suggestion. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to, you know, put another spin and another perspective on it, if in fact you've never thought about maybe dating outside your race or exploring other options. Dating outside your preference. You say, God, please send me someone that's caring, that is compassionate, that is going to be there for me through thick and thin, and then he just so happened to not be the ideal of picture of what you saw. That might not mean that you should turn it away, because I feel like everybody comes into your life for a reason, no matter whether they're supposed to be there for a season or for a lifetime. It is for a reason. And I think, I think a lot of women have their ideals of what they want and what they would like to receive, but even the prettiest of pretty women still have to humble themselves and be like, listen here, like, your ideas of like this perfect man or whatever, you might need to rethink that, and you might need to focus on things that are more important, because again, physical features are going to fade. It's just like kind of rethinking, you know, what is really important to you. Do I really care that he is not the height of a basketball player, but he treats me like a queen, and he does everything for me, and he supports me, and he truly loves and cares about my well-being, and we laugh constantly, and he's empowering me to be the best version of myself? That is what matters. Height is not what matters. Looks, I mean, you should be attracted to the person, but it should not mean, you know, it should not be the be all and end all. So for all of the men, if any man is watching this, all the men that just, you know, are stuck on like, oh, I only like lighter skin, women, and then you're bypassing all these beautiful women that are maybe darker complected because you have this, like, I don't know, this mindset that that's the type of woman that you deserve, because whatever, people feel like they deserve what they deserve, but you're doing yourself a disjustice by canceling out, because that could be your soulmate that you decided to cancel out on because you felt that you were supposed to be with someone that was a lighter complexion. Like, that young lady that feels like people overlook her could be your soulmate, but you think that she isn't the right skin tone, so you just missed out on it. I feel like back when I was on the dating scene, I ran across a lot of attractive men, but they couldn't hold a conversation. They didn't have any substance, they didn't have anything to talk about, or either they were so self-centered that I wasn't attracted to them, you know? So I just feel like initially, like off of first eye, yes, we run to, or we are compelled to interact with something that catches our eye, but it really matters what's inside. At least for me, it does. I feel like it matters for a lot of women. I feel like it should matter for a lot of men, but if it doesn't. So I say that to say that if she has a good spirit about herself, and she's motivated, and she is going somewhere in life, and she feels like she can bring value in a relationship, she is going to find someone. She does not have to give up hope. And the people, again, that she has surrounded herself with may not be the best people, and that might be friends too, because I feel like if she expresses this to the world, you know, and how she feels, I feel like she's probably also expressed this to her friend girls, and I blame them. Like, why are your friend girls not empowering you to be the best version of yourself, being the best that you possibly can be, and loving yourself for who you are and where you are in your life? Like, that's what friends are for. Friends are supposed to be that. When you feel like shit and you just aren't feeling good about yourself, friends are supposed to remind you, like, sis, you got it. You got this. And if he don't want it, then that's his loss. Period. But I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, if you have not watched the video, it definitely is a good sit down. I think it's like 25 minutes, but or maybe even longer than that, but it's a really good video to just get her perspective, and then also go through the comments just to see how many women also really agree with her and can relate. It is crazy that a lot of women that are pretty would also say that they don't believe that it exists, and it so very well exists. Like, I have gotten, I mean, just because I'm pretty, like, I've gotten free stuff, free drinks. You just get more attention. You get attention. People flirt with you. Whether or not you give them anything in return, they're getting your smile. Like, you know, they're getting your energy. They're getting a piece of that experience, and in return, they give you things to be able to experience that. But it still levels to that at the same time. Like, I don't feel like I'm that pretty where I'm out here, you know, I mean, maybe I possibly could have back in my younger years. I just didn't know how to work it, I guess. If, you know, if you want to say that, like, beautiful women know how to, like, play the game. I just never have been that girl. Like, I've never been one that wanted to use men, so I just could never grasp it. I tried to be honest with y'all, but it just never sat well with me, like, use somebody. And then also never wanted to feel like, because I use you for this, now I owe you. I don't ever want to owe anybody anything. So, like, that whole lifestyle, I'm not knocking any female that does it, and that's how they get their coins and pay their bills. But for me, it was something that I never could implement into my lifestyle. But I do know that there are levels to pretty privilege, and some of them are very, very high, and some women, that's their looks are exactly why they live the lifestyle that they live. But you always have to think about it, at any given time, all of that can be gone at the blink of an eye. And again, you're going to get older, so what is your plan B and C? Because all that pretty isn't going to last forever. And then, is your pretty privilege translating into what you really want? Because you feel like you are beautiful, are you truly getting what you want out of life? Do you want a family? Do you want children? Right now, you're getting a lot of different things from different men, but where is the substance? Again, if that is something that you want. But if not, if you want to be a hot girl summer for the rest of your life, then do you, sis. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this topic? Do you guys agree with me? Do you believe that pretty privilege is a thing? Do you feel like you have it? Do you feel like you've ever experienced it before? Do you also notice that people that don't have it or possibly don't have as much? Because again, it's levels to pretty privilege, because one man's trash is another man's treasure, or woman. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it was a little different. I might do some more of these when the topics arise and I just feel compelled to talk about them. So let me know in a comment if you did like it, because I will probably do some more in the future. As always, I'm a little different, and different is love. See you in the next one.